let's be real. Most people overcomplicate trading. Trading is not that hard. Is it difficult? Yes, but it's not that hard. Most people just always trying to chase the next strategy, chasing more indicators or confirmations for their trades, and they wonder why their account never grows. But see, the truth is, you don't need 10 strategies. You don't even need 5. All you need is one tried and true system. That is it. Something you can repeat over and over and over and make $100 a day from the markets. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step. Oh, and by the way, you already know who it is, James Strong. And on this channel, we focus on turning market moves into money moves. We trade, we invest, and we focus on building wealth from the markets as a whole. So let me switch over to my screen and let's jump straight into this thing. So there's a few steps for this, right? Everybody wants to jump in the markets and they're going to get skin up and lose their money. It's as simple as that. Let's go with another color. Let's go with, I like this color. Let's go with some blue. A lot of people want to jump straight into it. They get burned. They have beginners. Most people have beginners luck. Oh, it's easy. You know, yada, yada, yada. Have no strategy. I have people come to me with zero strategy, just gambling. And then they get a big L and realize, oh, shoot, they don't know what they're doing. Because they have a few wins and have one loss that wipes out everything and some, and they realize, oh, they need to learn. So number one, we have to define a goal. Define what is the goal. See, this right here is so important. People don't talk about this enough. The goal for everybody is not the same in trading. Everybody does not want to be a Lamborghini bro, riding around flexing like some young boy. I'm still in my 20s, man, but I'm not interested in that. I'm a family man. I'm a husband. I'm a father. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a very mature guy. I hang around brothers who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, right? I got an old soul. I'm not interested in none of that, but I am interested in freedom. I've been to literally 2 countries in the last 8 months, and in 3 more weeks, I'm flying out again to be in my 3rd country in 9 months. I'm interested in freedom. I'm not interested in looking cool for some kids on the internet. You feel me? So again, and I'm talking to all my fellas out here. All my fellas, I know y'all agree because my audience is basically grown men. I don't mean young. It's 18-year-olds who watch my channel, but they got a mature mentality. So here, man, we a bunch of brothers. We looking to go get it. All right. So first things first, what's the goal? Let's just start with what the average goal is for most people. So the first goal is usually to make money, right? But how much money? Okay, let's shoot to make $100 a day. Now, make $100. I'm just gonna take out the A because that look confusing. First goal is make $100 a day. Now you're not gonna make money every single day, right? But this right here, it's on average. It's on average. We need to make sure this is crystal clear because a lot of people too don't understand this. On average, you don't make money every day. You could trade 2 times a week and make 300 and 300 and you can average, you know what I'm saying, over your $5 mark, $100 a day. There's not good opportunities every single day. So I just want to give that nugget as well, right? But in this example, if you have a 1-to-1, this is the minimum I teach people to make, right? You want to risk $1, make $1. Don't ever risk $1, make 50 cents. Are there anomalies who do that? Yes, but that's not proper long term, right? So if you risk $100 at a 1-to-1, make it $100 a trade. Simple freaking math. But if you want to get a 2RR, that's $200 profit for every $100 you risk. This is where you want to be. You want to start getting onto that positive side, even if it comes down to a 1.5 RR. Because the thing is, the bigger your RR, and I teach my students this all the time, the bigger your RR, the bigger your personality better be. Like you have not say bigger, excuse me. The stronger your mental has to be. Like I personally am in trades. I've been up 3. I send this to my students all the time. Man, I was in a trade the other week. I had a trade hit 2.91. So I risked $800 in that trade. So I was up almost 24. Now it was a little bit more because I was, you can't get in perfectly. I was on an intraday / swing move. I was up about $2,400 at the peak of that trade, and I was holding this trade for like a bigger TP, right? I think I was holding for 4-to-1, so I was made like $3,000 something in this trade if it hit. It went $24 in profit, 2.91, and came all the way back down. No, actually, no, I was holding this trade for a 3-to-1 on this system, a 3-to-1. Now, one of my students was like, man, I can't even hold you. I would have closed it. I said, I don't need to because statistically, I know what I hit. And you got to think, if you start shaving off 5, 10, 20% of your money every single trade, that can happen anywhere. If you hold them for a 4-to-1, can go to 3.9. If you hold them for a 3, can go to 2.9, 2.8. If you hold them for a 2-to-1, can go to 1.8, 1.7, 1.6. If you hold them for a 1-to-1, all that is fear. That's fear. But when you trust the system and you have back data, I'm not going on a rant, but I want to give y'all information, right? You don't need to do that. So we have to also know, I say all that to say, know what's realistic. Everybody wants to get in the game and make these big numbers, but like, I'm at this point now, and I always say, because I speak humbly, like everything I have is because of God. I'm not saying I'm the coldest trader in the world, but what I do works. That's what I can say. What I do works, and I found what works. That's how literally I was stacking my wins, stacking my payouts. I'm mainly a personal trader. I believe in having money I control because it makes a lot better on your mental. Everybody wants to go the evaluation route. That's cool as an accessory. That's kind of like going to Thanksgiving. We coming for the ham, the turkey, right? I want the meat. I ain't come for the collard greens. I'm gonna get me some, but I ain't come for the collard greens. So I didn't trading. You don't come. You're not supposed to come for the evaluations of these companies. You're supposed to come learn how to actually trade your money, real personal capital, and grow that, and then you use them to your advantage. So what I was doing, all last year when this stuff finally clicked before for me and I had it. All I was doing was stacking bread, making my trades, making 600 here, take it out, pay off, chipping, to where I paid off over $80,000 in student loans and personal debt for me, my wife, and my family in like 9 months. And I made a video about it. If you want to go watch it, go watch the video on the channel too. But yeah, all that in like 9 months. All right, it was because it was consistency. All you gotta do is do the same thing over and over and over and over. And you don't have to start trading more. You start risking more. So first you need to find your goal. Is it to be full-time trader, whatever, no matter what, get your income up. So let's get our income up. Second thing we want to do is identify, first off, learn a simple system. I don't mean just a strategy, but learn a simple system. So what is your setup? What is your setup? So for me, the base of my foundation is supply and demand. There are thousands of ways to make money. I literally have one of my brother, like it's my boy, but he's like my brother, right? He does supply and demand. We do it totally different. So just because you hear a concept does not also mean like, oh, I know how to do supply and demand. Hey, look, man. Another thing too, when it comes to making money in business, you have to drop your ego. All right, because if you had what worked, you wouldn't be sitting here wondering how to make it work. Right? Be humble. We all can learn from somebody. I can learn from some of y'all. Y'all can learn from people out here, right? But understand that just because you say supply and demand, support resistance, breaking retail structure, it's all different. Everybody has their own little nuances. But first, find a setup that works. Find something that you can, number one, you can rely on. All right. Find something that you can easily identify. So you can see this over and over and over in the markets. Like, oh man, I can, this makes sense to me. People, I say this to my students all the time. The less you think, the more money you're gonna make. You don't want to get in the markets thinking a lot. That's why I'm mechanical. Everything I have is mechanical because when I get to the market, I don't want to think. You don't want to use brain power. I'm not about to go and get off that. That's getting too deep of a topic, and I'll say that for my students. But this stuff is really a science, right, with your brain. So you want to find something you can rely on, right? Let me put find here. Find something you can rely on. If I spelled anything wrong, it is what it is. As long as y'all getting value and getting information, that's all that matters. Find something you can rely on. And let's add this point, man. This right here is key. Stop chasing. Stop chasing trades. Do not chase trades. The game changes when you learn how, the game changes. I can't emphasize enough. When you learn how to spot key areas Wait for price to come back to you. And if it reacts a certain way, you capitalize. That's where the money is. You do not want to chase trades. I don't scalp. I don't do any of that. I intraday and I swing. I can do both. I primarily like the intraday because I just want my money. I don't want to hold it for 3-4 days, but I also have things I've swung for, 72, 48 hours, swung over the weekend and made a good amount of money. Even one of the videos I put on my channel, you want to go watch that, you can. I passed a funded trading plus 72 hours. I had a swing position going north. And I also don't believe in just trading with the trend, because when you know how to spot reactions, you can capitalize on reaction. I caught a reaction to the downside, made a couple thousand, and I was swinging my big move and made like 7,000 or 8,000 that move. Like it's simple. It's not easy. It takes work. I put in years of work doing this at this point, but it is simple. I mean, people overcomplicate this stuff too much. So find that, and then find one good cleanup, one good setup. So like just to give, let me see if I can find the one I had the other week. Let me see if I can find it for y'all real quick. If I can't, it is what it is. My students know where it's at. Let me see. It might be a couple weeks ago. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find this for y'all, because I want y'all to see. I think was it a Thursday? I know the joint was on NAS. Let me go to this chart. And charts matter. Yeah, right here. That's why, yeah. So that the futures chart was different than Forex chart. Again, if you know, you know, right? So, let me bar replay this so I can cut it back and lose my spot. Supply them in my basis. I saw a strong area up in here. I always teach higher time frame synchronization, which is a concept I teach all my students. Broke it down, and I saw basically what I was looking for in here, right? I saw a certain reaction, took this trade up, took it on the 15-minute. And went up. No, actually, this is the one I did take. I had this marked up. I did not take this one because it's London session. So thank you for that. I ain't trying to tell y'all the lie, because I don't do that, right? So no, this is one I missed. The other ones I took, I got it for my students already. So I ain't gonna go over that. I don't know where the heck they are. But this one I had marked up, but I just want to show y'all how they react. All I literally did. You start breaking this thing down. There's demand in here, strong buying out. We broke several structures. And literally, dude, all I did. Now I'm not saying all, like that's it, right? I have it down to the T. But when I was waiting for it, I set an alert down here. So I'm just gonna draw a line because it ain't live market. And look at this strong sell-off too. Look at all these imbalances we had over here that needed to be filled eventually. Now, did we know when it needed to be filled? No, price could have went clean up and not came back to my area. But the point is, I do this all the time. And there's other key levels, on different days that maybe certain reactions. You know what I mean? But that's all I literally did. Waited for it to come back. Tap me in. I'm on my time frame. My entry time frame. I get in and I ride it up. And y'all excuse me, I'm just going quickly so we can keep going because this video a little bit longer than I want it to be. But I mean, that's all I do, man. And then boom, I make my money and it's whatever, right? And you can see obviously price kept going. This is what happened too when you use bigger time frames. I'm not on here scalping chasing trades, but like, you got to think, this is not the reason I said too, to find your goal, have realistic expectations. This is not going to happen all the time. This doesn't happen every single day. These are big moves, but this is also how I can trade 1-2 times a week and make good money. I don't need to trade all the time. And secondly, I don't want to trade all the time. Where did our notes go, y'all? Oh, we're on a different chart. There we go. Yeah, so I don't want to trade all the time, all right? So let's make sure We have a setup that works. You pick one, boom, boom, and you go. All right, now let's try it. Also, if you do want to learn how I trade to the T, right? That's very quick. That's not detailed. You know, I teach my students in detail how to do this stuff. But if you want to learn fully how I break down trades, how I spot these big trades, make sure you go to my link down below. Click all my information. I have more things coming because yeah, man, I just want to help as many people as I can. All right, so I do have something else I'm working on. It'll take some time as well. But hey, feel free to join the waitlist as well for that if you're interested. And all my information is down below. Okay, let's go to the next step. Number 3 is one of the most important ones. This is even after you get like profitable. Keep the rules simple. I'm gonna kind of speed up through these next ones, right? Keep the rules simple. You do not want to overcomplicate this stuff because too many people overcomplicate it and make trading way more hard than it is. It's already hard. Don't make it harder. And number 4, build consistency. Build consistency because you really don't want to be playing with your emotions, right? You can't make $100 a day if your system is a roller coaster. If you sitting here literally doing this, make money, lose money, how you just breaking even? How are you ever going to make money to pay yourself, change your family's life, right? Like, I'm gonna leave it for you visual. How you can do any of that stuff, do that, right? What you want instead is you want like the charts. You want to make some money. And of course you're gonna lose some. That's the business we in. Make it, you know, and you're over time, you're going up. And what you have instead is a equity curve that is on the up. It's going up. That's how you make money. You can't make it just making money, losing money, making money, losing money. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not doing this for fun, right? This has to pay me. This is a business. Like, I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, but understand that. And then step 5, as you grow, scale. As you grow, scale. So as you do, let me keep this one on here. As you do get to, let's remove this one. As you do get to this point, I took my little arrows off, man. As you get to this point though, right? You get the point. As you get to this point and your money's on the up, now you can scale. When you start building that confidence, now you can go and you can start risking. Look, y'all didn't even tell me I had spelled it wrong. It's all good. You can start risking, you know, $100 a trade. Build your confidence. Start off small. Start off with the amount you found with losing. Okay, cool. Get you 5-10 wins on your belt. Show yourself you've been responsible. Now go to $200. Build that up. You know, okay, now go to $300, $400. You know, if you got the confidence or the mindset, go straight to $400. By the time you're doing 5 hours a month at $400 a trade, you already making $2,000 a month. You know, it doesn't take long to make a lot of money. Or I don't say a lot. Just say, you know, a good amount of money to start making an impact in your life. Let's say it like that. It's not about how big or small it is. And never compare your money to nobody else's money. All right, it doesn't matter what I make or anybody make on the internet. Just focus on what helps you in your situation and what you feel good about. That's all that matters. All right. So if you are ready to go from learning to earning, make sure you go down below, click my information. Everything you need is down there. I will help you in any way I can. So I try to have as many resources as I can for you guys or services so you can learn and cut your learning curve in half, man, because time is so precious. And I always tell my students, like, I wish I had me, because I'll be honest, I probably, man, God, if I had me, dude, there's no telling where I'd be at right now. I'm just being honest. Like, I might be a multi-millionaire, but again, I thank God where I am at. I thank God that I was able to pay off, you know, almost 6 figures in debt. I thank God that I have a 6-figure net worth and growing now, when I was negative net worth, you know what I'm saying, a year ago, right? And I thank God I'm in a position where I can help people now, like yourselves who are watching this video, especially if you watch to the end, 19 minutes, man. Like, yo, you locked in, you dedicated your wealth, man. So again, you know, tap in, man. Learn the right way. Try to cut your learning curve, whether that's for me or anybody. But just take this thing serious as a business. If you like making money, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't like making money, don't subscribe. It's that simple. Much love, family.